Hello everyone, this is part 1 of 3 of the Mystery Writer RAD. Let's talk about slow writing. My name is Marcel Elvers. I'm a master profiler through written communication and author of Handwriting Analysis Principles. Let's have a look at the sample as a whole. This is a male, age 45, date of birth 1954, and was written in November 1999. This is an adult male. The writer fills the page and moves all the way from left margin to the right margin. These writers use all their resources and also do not leave room for others. These writers tend to fill a room, are typically dominant, and can be overwhelming. Slow writing lacks spontaneity and belong to writers who are acutely aware of their motivation and intentions. They carefully plan and think about what to say and how to say it. This stylized and carefully drawn writing is symbolic of an artificial self-representation. These writers do not show who they are and wear a mask, if you will. With the writing of individual letters being near quote-unquote perfect, it lends us to believe the writer's mindset includes an artificial self-presentation and perfectionism. These writers pretend to be conventional, traditional, and conforming, but they are prone to think and act in a deliberate and willful manner. They typically hide their intentions and are prone to being deceitful. We write from left to right, and the stronger we move forward, the higher our degree of purpose. The lack of spontaneity is therefore also seen in the lack of forward movement, because letters attach to themselves. There is no spacing. The writer is also very consciously aware of indentation, another show of I am conforming and follow rules. The right margin is perfectly lined up, as well as the indentation. Again, this is a show of lack of spontaneity and the need for emotional control. The upper zone and lower zone are missing. The size of the upper zone represents the degree of our philosophical inclinations, and this writer does not prioritize these qualities. Hence, morality is not high on his priority bucket. The lower zone represents our subconscious impulses and our need to fulfill our material, physical, and sexual needs. This writer is not impulsive and is consistent with the artificial and planning look of the writing. The stunted lower zone, basically an absent lower zone, can be an indicator of non-conforming sexual fantasies and practices. The lack of the lower zone structures, and especially the lack of lower zone loops, which are containers for storing emotional experiences, are absent and strongly implies emotional blocks and likely a distorted view. And that leaves us with only the mid-zone. The mid-zone writers are primarily concerned with living in the moment, the here and now, and they have a need to be socially accepted and acknowledged. To emphasize the need for acceptance implies a lack of social self-worth. Mid-zone emphasis is typically seen in adolescents trying to find their place in the world. But for a 45-year-old male, it means emotionally stunted with an inability to express emotional experiences. These writers are emotionally underdeveloped, and for adults, that is typically not a good sign. Here is another printer with bonding difficulties. Trump needs no introduction.